Hey, what's up? This is your boy ITYC here for another episode of Live from the Merch Shop. And today I have with me the man, Mr. Azim Bailey. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm good, man. Great to be here, man.
You just came to the Merch Shop. Where are you coming from?
Well, I had another meeting before this, just trying to organize some moves. Or some things in the works for Revolution, my company. So we had a meeting and I'm trying to discuss some funding and stuff like that. So things looking up. And I always in the merch shop and buy the merch shop. Real good look. I always in for black entrepreneurship. That's all. You love yourself still.
Nice. You always come to the Merch Shop and we finally get you to come on live from the Merch Shop after coming through here numerous times. So tell us, you're an engineer and what else?
Well, I wear a lot of hats. I like to say I'm just involved in entertainment. I have several companies, one being Revolution, which handles publishing, and I also have a studio. I'm also, like I said, a sound engineer, so I've been traveling with several bands, work with several companies all around the Caribbean and the rest of the world. I also have another company called The Agency, which deals with celebrity bookings and event management. So we wear a lot of different hats. And musician, band manager, you gotta wear a lot of different hats in this thing if you want to make it. So that's fine.
So which part of St. Kitts are you?
Well, Connery. Born in Connery. Moved out for a little while, but right now, back on the hill over there in Connery. So Connery is where we're at.
Nice. How did you get your start in music?
Music start, man. That's just been part of my life ever since I know myself. Grew up in church, and I think, apart from singing in choir, I just used to feel left out when music playing and fellas over there doing the thing and I over here. So I started actually playing the triangle. Triangle is where I started, and from there moved on to the bass and the keyboards. After that, learned a lot when I went to Basta High School, joined the symphonic band there, and that was a big step for me. After that, I've been involved in starting several bands. I was one of the original Royalties. Actually named after me. So Royalties, I had Untitled at one point, which was another R&B band, and right now, the Back Analyst group, which I'm a manager and bass player for.
So which instrument is your favorite?
Instrument, I'd have to say the bass. The bass is always felt right, But to be totally honest, I prefer being behind the scenes, I like the engineering role. I like when I push up faders, people dance. The live sound thing is where I'm at home. Even in the studio is a little sterile. You have to wait 6 months before you get any response. In the live setting, right then, you see how people respond to the music. And I really like the instant gratification of the live environment.
You ventured off to university. Okay. You want to tell us which university was that? And for what reason?
Well, I went to Full Sail University in Orlando, Winter Park, Florida. And I studied show production and touring. When I finished with college, CFB here, I went to teach. And I really like teaching, but I really didn't like the system. You know what I mean? And I made a decision that if I was going to move out of teaching, I was going to move into something that I was passionate about and really loved. And it was a hard decision because, a lot of people don't really venture out in that field. But, I was really determined to just make that move and do what I love. So, show production, big up Full Sail University, and all the other engineers. And from that, a lot of things started happening for me. Lived in the States for a little bit, toured with a bunch of bands, rock bands mainly, some screamer bands, guys screaming up and down the place. But it was a good learning experience for me, definitely, and something that I always cherish.
Okay. You said you toured with many rock bands. What was one of your memorable moments touring while coming out of university with some of the rock bands?
All right. Well, how I got my first big break was with a band called Nonpoint, and I just happened to go to the show with a friend of mine. As a matter of fact, one of my roommates was friendly with one of the engineers, so she got us in free. We snuck in, and we were backstage. And I found out that one of the bands didn't have an engineer. So I was like, yo, I could do it. And mixed the show, and from there it rolled on. But one thing that I really found interesting was you go to these rock shows and you see these kids doing like they have the mosh pit, and then they're going on similar to what we call the bull ring, you know what I mean? And then they're throwing hand or whatever. And one day I just couldn't understand it. As much as I loved rock growing up and love metal music, I had to ask the guy, like, why do they do this? And he explained to me, like, this is therapy for them, when they come from work 4 o'clock and their wife cheating on them and all these things, they come to the show. And I remember one time I decided I'm gonna watch this. So he's standing up there during the show, and I see this guy literally just force a box in a man's face. And the fellow just watch him, and the two of them just hug and start crying. The two of them start crying. And I remember just thinking, but I understand it now. You know what I mean? Like, I understand it. I never seen nothing like that before or after, but that's one of the most memorable things I've seen with rock bands, at least.
Well, I definitely can help this second in no job. As a puncher man, you're gonna get a punch back. Nice. So, you came back from university, and in my view, from since, it seemed like you have been on a mission. You wanna shed a little light, and what is that mission?
Well, I mean, I came back here, and initially my goal was to just try and help develop the talent that is here. Because when you tour around, you realize that, hey, you got guys out here doing things, making big money, and I know fellas back home who could do the same or even better. So what's the difference? And sometimes it's just knowledge, sometimes it's just to get the start, And so since I've come back, I've really tried to help develop the artists and try to build an industry, because it's not about me, it's not about you, it's about all of us trying to create something that our children could come at after and say, this makes sense because I see how it's benefiting those who are doing it now and helping to move it forward. I mean, I used to, still do at some points, tour with a lot of Jamaican acts. And I remember there was one time we were in California and I just came from a show. And I'm on WhatsApp looking through my phone. And I'm talking to like 90% Jamaicans, right? And I remember we went back to the show and talking to all my friends, people I met on the road, and it's like all Jamaicans. And I keep thinking to myself, like, it would just feel good that sometime when I boot up on these acts, I seen other Kitishans too. You know what I mean? So at that point, I really made a conscious decision to come back and do whatever it is I could do personally. And I know there's other people who have the same mentality to really help and boost the industry here and help to push artists outside the St. Kitts, because we have the talent. The talent here comparable to anywhere else in the world. Trust me, I've been there, so you know.
What are some of the countries, festivals you have worked on? Well, here and abroad.
Well, locally, carnival time is work time for me. Used to work with some of the local bands. I used to mix small acts at one point. Last Music Fest actually mixed every local act that performed on the show. So that was a big accomplishment for me, just being able to give in that way. I've been production manager for Inception the first 3 years. And so we see how that's been building, and that's become like an institution of Sugar Mass that ain't even a fete anymore. That's its own thing. Outside of St. Kitts, like, I've traveled the world, and music has really given me the opportunity to see so much things I would have never seen. South America, places like Brazil, which is a personal favorite of mine for some obvious and not so obvious reasons. But Brazil, so South America, the US, Canada, Europe, those are mainly the places that I've been to, like all around Europe with a band called Hand to Hand. So that's a big look for me. And more to come. Right now, we're looking to move to Africa. That's the next one I'm trying to touch. I really have a passion about going to Africa and seeing how that is right there. So that's what's happening right now.
Out of all of those, which one was your favorite?
Which one was the favorite? I think Brazil. And the reason Brazil sticks out to me is sometimes when you're on the road, like you travel and you don't actually get to see the place. It's like you're on a plane, you're on a bus, hotel, sound check, hotel, bus, plane. You know what I mean? You don't get to actually see the place. But when I went to Brazil last year, it was set up in such a way that we had a couple of half days and we really got to go and see the place and walk amongst the people. And just the fact that I got to go there and see, see the place actually, like that really stood out for me, more so than the show or the concerts. In terms of concerts that I really loved, Sierra Nevada Music Festival was a big one for me. It was up with Shaggy at that point. And because it's a big festival, I mean, it's world recognized. And the people and the love for Caribbean music was amazing for me to see.
Okay. You also have record some of the SKN artists. What are some of those artists?
Well, for this carnival, I have several artists. Statics, Cinnamon. I also did some production for Shanna, Soca Princess. Rappers, Vito is a young cat coming up called Ed Uhuzara. Like, look out for him. I think some people might have seen some stuff that I have on YouTube. Check him out. So there's a bunch of different people, some reggae artists. Right now, doing a lot more with the publishing and trying to get that aspect of the business going. And actually in the process of building a new space right now for recording. So look out for big things coming from Revolution Studios.
The Untitled band. You was the guy mainly behind that band. I think they were, if I remember, the R&B band. What happened to the Untitled band?
Well, Untitled was a pet project of mine. Untitled had two goals. Untitled goal was one, to bring diversity to the band aspect of the nightlife, where we were mainly R&B, played a lot of grown folks music, if you want to call it that. And the reason for that was, one, that's the kind of music I like. I really like the music, and I wasn't feeling a lot of that in the scene at the time. Every band have this versatility thing, and I ain't really for the versatility thing per se. I think sometimes specialize and you create your niche, you really develop something. So that was one thing, and then the other goal, which was even more important for me, was to help and bring a platform for local artists. And so whenever we would play, we had the Feel Good Wednesdays down at Cloud9, and we'd always feature local artists. And I think that was something new, because I really feel that helped to spur this thing that you see now happening with local artists performing on shows and parties. Before we were doing that, you wasn't seeing a lot of that. It was mainly the bands and the DJs. I mean, we had shows there with Infamous where people really start seeing the artists as bookable acts to add value to the events. So I really feel we really had to give a platform to some of the local artists, and that's the biggest thing that came out. What happened to Untitled? If I had to sum it up, I'd just say dedication, because Untitled was looking to do like original music, not just covers. And it sounds easy, but it ain't that easy to pull multiple personalities together and sit down and really work towards that. It takes a lot of work, and sometimes people just didn't have the time or the dedication to do it at that point. But everybody in Untitled is still good. We always talk about a reunion, so who knows? Untitled reunion might be coming.
I, for one, looking forward to that reunion, because Untitled really know to put it down in grand fashion.
Yeah, man. Yeah, trust me. We had Charlie, who's now in the US. I think he's actually looking to bring out a new album right now. So we've seen how the band scene helped to promote some of those solo artists. So I really feel proud about that, because they do got some talent. And who knows, man? It might happen. It might happen.
Nice. Back Analyst band. Back Analyst crew. tell us what's your involvement with Back Analyst Crew.
Back Analyst crew, I've been managing the band now for maybe 4 years. It was a band that initially came up as a soca backing band and has since then morphed into something so much bigger. And as of this year, I'm also now the bass player in the band. So it's something that I'm really happy about getting to express that side of me. You know, I love the engineering thing, but sometimes being on stage, you know, get the outlet. So it gives me an outlet to really put together that performance aspect of my personality. So yeah.
So you were the one instrumental in starting the Back Analyst band?
Yeah, me and Gavin Charles, big up Gabo. He's the one who really came with the idea to let's really put together something specifically for the backing of the artists. And from the start, it's been me and Gavin. We have now shifted the mandate of the band from not just being a soca band, but being something so much bigger. Because everything I do, like I said, is to help and foster the artists. It's all about the artists. Because without the artists, none of us could move. Musicians can't move, managers can't move, promoters ain't got nothing to promote. So the artist is really the input into the system, and we really feel like if we take time and help to build that product, and all of us could eat. So for this year, we took an idea to Culturama about instituting a soca monarch over there, and that was a great success. Big up Abonati. He really came on board and was so instrumental in getting that done. And the artists coming with the good music as well. We've then backed up a lot of dancehall artists, the Nice Girls Show, Love and Dancehall, where we backed up a bunch of local artists. Because that's our thing, back in the local artists, we really want to do our best to help and develop that product. You could take a good artist and a good band and create a great product. And that's our philosophy, so that's really what we're trying to do.
Nice. I must say, at the Love and Dancehall, Back Analyst backed about 4 to 5 local acts. And those artists had looked very comfortable on stage. Some of them being on the St. Kitts Music Festival with other local backing band. They didn't look so comfortable. What's the secret behind Back Analyst to get these artists being so comfortable on stage?
Well, I can tell you, I have 2 tenants when I deal with the band. One, discipline. Discipline is a big thing. If you're in a band with me, trust me, I preach that day and night. We come, we rehearse, we go out and we play or rehearse. And so what that does, it gives the artist a sense of comfort knowing what we worked on is going to be reproduced when they go on stage. The other thing is the focus is always the artist. We are accompanying the artist, it's about the artist. Whatever the artist needs to make sure that they could perform to the best of their abilities, we do that. Some secrets, I'll give you a secret. One thing the Back Analyst crew does, and I think it's really one of the secrets to our success, is whenever we rehearse, we record all our rehearsals. So directly after rehearsal, I go to the studio, mix down the rehearsal, and everybody gets a copy of the rehearsal, including the artist if they're so pleased. And so the artist now could go vibe on it and learn the set. You know what I mean? I think what happened is a lot of the artists follow one of the, let's say, models of performance where you just kind of haphazard do whatever you want to do. And sometimes, if you don't have a plan, you could get lost. You know what I mean? So, we always leave it open to improvisation, but we always have a plan. And so, the artists always know that the band right there with them, and there's a plan and everybody know what everybody doing. And again, like I said, the discipline. And so, we've realized that we've been given some really good performances, and we only hope to get better as time goes on.
Nice. There seems to be in the ear, a whiff with Back Analyst and the Soca Monarch, right? We've been in the industry, the entertainment industry in St. Kitts. We are aware of some of the things that's happening, right? You being the big man in Back Analyst, what seems to be some of these issues, and what will be the way forward for Back Analyst and the Soca Monarch?
Well, like I tell you, Back Analyst really here to just service the artist, all right? And so, like you said, there's been some issues with the Soca Monarch. People kind of come to expect us being there, and we've done all that we could do to make sure that we improve year after year. I mean, when you hear Back Analyst now, you ain't hearing Back Analyst now because we're bad. You hear Back Analyst now because we don't make mistakes and learn from them over the years. You know what I mean? So we've been really trying to do our best to build the Soca Monarch. I mean, personally, the Soca Monarch is a pet project of mine. I've been in the committee, probably the only person who's been involved intimately in the Soca Monarch competition outside of some of the artists since 2010 when we introduced it. So, Back Analyst School, we aim for excellence. And in order for us to be excellent and to give the performance that we want to give, we need certain things. Mediocrity is not an option for me, and I know for the rest of Back Analyst School is not an option. And we felt that we were being put in a position to fail, to be honest. We felt that we weren't being given the inputs that we needed to give the product the output that we wanted to give. And so we distanced ourselves from the tents, which is something that I have been pushing for about 3 years. 3 years I've been trying to get the Soca tents, as I see it as a way to really help promote the show before the show. And so I wasn't gonna walk away from it lightly, let's put it that way. This is my pet project. It's like my baby, my bag. So to walk away from it, you know, it had to be some real turbulence going on. I just was really put in a position where I couldn't do what it is I had to do. The committee decided that since we weren't gonna do any more tents, that they were gonna move in a different direction and hire the next band. We have no issues with that personally. I mean, yes, we always want to be part of it, of the competition. Like I said, we've been there. I think we played for 4 or 5 years, and even the 1 year when we didn't play, we were still intimately involved. Persons in the band are producers for some of the artists, and so I mean, we really want to see the show come off, and we wish them the best. But as of right now, it seems as though the rift between us and the Carnival Committee really, I don't know, the show going on still, and we ain't gonna be in it, as far as I know, as of right now.
Well, for me personally, that's very sad, because I have been in Soca Monarch in the past, and I know Back Analyst being the backing band for the Soca Monarch. I have heard Back Analyst at 2 of the Soca tents backing up the artists, and I know the artists been having a wonderful time. Many of the artists seems to want Back Analyst back them up, so to speak, but I guess it's not in their hands, our best interest. To those artists out there, right? What would you say to them?
To the artists who want Back Analyst and seem not to be able to get it, that's what you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I can speak directly to them artists. I can speak to artists in general. Artists need to understand that the music industry, the music business does not exist without artists and musicians. We are the ones who make music. We are the driving force. And until we recognize the power that we have, and until we let persons who don't play an instrument, persons who don't hold a mic, come in and dictate how we do things in our industry, we can always suffer. I mean, and it's really sad to see that the artists have requests And for whatever reason, whether it be ego, whether it is pride, um, that the artists cannot get their needs met. And I mean, let's be honest, Soca Monarch is an expense to the artist. People think Soca Monarch is a big competition. Soca Monarch really is the artist's contribution to Carnival, because the amount of money that I see some of these artists put into the craft, getting ready for the one show. You know what I mean? And the Carnival community, yes, does help them out, but the amount of expense that they put into it, my boy. You've been in the show, so you know. You know this thing take money. And to see that they're putting their money in to be a part of the show and still not having a voice or having a say as to how an integral part of their performance, meaning the band, is handled. I mean, I really think it's sad. But again, I don't go around and blame lawyers. Well, lawyers don't go around and blame doctors for what's going on in the law profession. You know? Artists need to take responsibility for what happened in their careers and what happened in the industry, because we are the ones who dictate it. We are the ones with the power. So all I could say is I really hope that in generations to come, that the artists begin to really realize that we are the ones who hold the power. We are the ones who depend on this industry for a living. And until we take it like that, like a business, and operate with that type of mindset, we're going to always be taken advantage of. I really hope that we could learn and change, because without that, the talent would just stay right here. And I really think that's a big travesty, because St. Kitts have so much talent. So much talent, my boy, trust me.
Nice. What's your thoughts on the St. Kitts and Nevis music industry generally? And what you think can do to help it improve?
Well, I think that, like I've been saying, the talent's been there. And I wouldn't be back here if the talent wasn't there, my boy. But the talent is there. It's about now taking the next step to industrialize the talent. It's like we have raw material, and we need to set up the industry so that, one, the raw material can be extracted, but then also refined into a product that people want to buy. I think that comes in a couple of different steps, because I think it's really, as far as I'm concerned, about 75 years behind the rest of the Caribbean in terms of the industry. And I lay blame squarely at the feet of those that came before us. I don't even cut no style or hold no water in my mouth about that. At this point, we've had people that have toured the world from St. Kitts. From St. Kitts, we've had people that have toured the world, that have impacted. Look, when I travel to Trinidad till to this day, and I tell people I'm from St. Kitts, people ask me, you know Element? When I go travel in New York and so we go play for Fets and so I tell them from St. Kitts. As a matter of fact, when I go tell people that, yeah, they make small acts, and like open the eye like, why? Like, you don't make small acts? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, we've had those that come before us, but then that legacy wasn't really passed on, and the next generation wasn't developed to carry it. And so it's almost like all those trails that they've blazed, we have to go and blaze them again. One of the things I feel are gonna really help is we really need to get an example. We need somebody to boss, and boss in a big way. It was all well and good in 2006 to tell a little black boy from Chicago, you know, when you go up, you could be president of the United States. Yeah, but he say, yeah, but he really believe you. Now Obama come 2008, all of a sudden it becomes more of a reality for him. Understand? He has that example now is a reality. And so when we're trying to get artists to take this thing serious, I really feel like we need to get those, like that artists or those artists to really go out and show people, not only in the music industry, but also parents who kids might have an interest in music, politicians that might have an interest in supporting the arts. Until we do it for ourselves, I don't think anything could happen. Also, the artists need to understand that this is a business, and it must be, you must take it as such. It's all good to sit down in your bedroom and create some great music, but how do you then commercialize that? And so it's recognizing that we have a lot to learn, being open to people that have the knowledge, and then using that knowledge to take it to the persons that could help us. We can't go to everybody say, oh, the politicians this and no, the politicians ain't supposed to help us in the industry, remember. That ain't, it's our industry. It's on us. They are a resource for us to tap on. But you have to be able to talk in their language. You understand? You have to be able to give business plans and show them how, hey, this is how what I am doing is going to help you. And this is how you can help me. And so it's mutually beneficial. But this is the mindset that we need to have. Also really hoping though, that being said, that we could recognize that music and the arts in general is an industry that could really help to spur things here in St. Kitts, help us to diversify our economy, and so that the policy makers could really come on board. Start, as far as I'm concerned, we got to start the young generation, music appreciation of the arts, bands in primary schools, stages for these persons to then show what they've been working on, because I think that's one of the disconnects. We have a lot of people that go music class or whatever, and maybe they perform once a year. If I practice in all year and I only perform it once, after a while, maybe I want to do it no more. You understand? So we need to see more. We don't have a performing arts theater. We don't have stages where persons could go and showcase the talent and develop the talent. And so that's where I think the policy makers come in. But again, we need to be the one to take it to them and show them the feasibility of it. And the only way we're going to do that is if we get it in our heads that, yeah, this is very important, this is our livelihood, and that this is a business, and we operate as such.
Yeah, very, very interesting points. Because I must say, in track and field, both of us know, because we used to do track in high school, that when January comes around, you go to these series of development meets, and that is to see where you're at from the months before in training and getting you ready. So that point about what it was, places to showcase the talent at the early stage. That's a very good point.
I mean, it's very important. I mean, we have this thing, people argue about the music fest and wanting to see more locals on the music fest, and I'm all for that. But at the same time, I don't think it's fair to an artist to send him up there to perform to 2,000 people, 3,000 people, and he perform to 200 for the year. That's where I'm coming from. The artist, just like in any other craft, any other business, you develop your product. You understand? The only way to develop that product is to go out there, perform, sing. And there's so much opportunities in the music. I mean, like I do publishing, and it's like, just get your music in one movie. You understand? Just one movie. You're gone clear. You could have stuck down bank that day in your child college. You understand where I'm coming from? So it's like there's so much opportunities, but until we really develop the product and bring it to a standard that persons want to then spend their hard money on, ain't gonna get here. But we need those places to showcase, places to develop, places for artists to own their craft, places for musicians to perform. If we don't have that, then it's very hard for us to develop as a whole.
Nice. What's your take on the Mad Squad? I'm not getting the full name, but the awards, that Mad Squad will be having. What's your view on such project?
Well, first thing, DJ Flames, I know you've been pushing that hard, and the whole Mad Squad family, because people might feel like, oh, the artists on this level and they don't deserve an award. That is nonsense. The artists work, the artists put in time in their craft, and it's good to see that there are persons who want to recognize this hard work. Not only that, the importance of award shows in the industry is one, to give title to those that have attained the awards. You understand? It's something that you could then put on your resume, something you could put in your press kits, something that you could use to help promote yourself. Either being nominated or being awarded. The other thing which I find is the most important part of this thing happening is the fact that it now gives the artist something else to strive for. Right? When persons compete in this way, the product is gonna get better. If last year I was nominated for Best Soca Artist and I was beaten out by Keja, the next year I go in hard in the studio because I want to make sure the next year the award is mine. And if everybody doing that, what's gonna happen to the level of the product? The product is gonna get better. So, recognition and motivation, I really support Mad Squad and that whole initiative. And I really hope that is something that could become a staple every year because it's long overdue. The artist's been working, but I trust me.
Nice. Big up Mad Squad, DJ Flame, same. You have a publishing company, as made mention. Well, in private dialogues, we usually talk about the whole publishing business here in St. Kitts. Let me ask you, would you yourself be hosting even a little seminar to educate this known and the unknown local artists here?
Yeah, Revolution has already been in talks with the Department of Culture about putting on a series of workshops surrounding different things. And yes, publishing is one of them. And getting your music registered, getting your music to a point where you can collect some royalties from it. And also, that's to help to put pressure on the policymakers again, because until we come together, then we don't have a voice. So we need to put pressure on the policymakers to make it so that radio stations, televisions, restaurants, banks, schools, everywhere that use our creative material compensate us for the use of our intellectual property. Because a lot of money being wasted right now, I listen to the radio and the radio DJs do their part in really pushing the artists. But then the artists have to spend money. I mean, people talk about exposure. And when you tell me about you want to give me exposure, I always ask the question, why are you exposing me to poverty? You coming from? I can't go to the bank and tell them, here's some exposure. You know what I mean? So we need to find a way to really monetize this thing. So yeah, workshops are on the way. Big up to the Department of Culture because they've really shown a lot of interest. And not only in publishing, but we're trying to do some workshops on songwriting, and studio, and studio management. We find a lot of fellas right now have their little home studios. Some even have professional studios. But the management of that studio, you don't have your split sheet. You don't have your logbook where you're logging everything that happened in the studio for future reference. How producers make money from the rhythms and stuff like that, and how that whole thing. Yeah. So we're trying to really, like I said, develop the industry, and workshops is definitely one way. So look out for those workshops, Revolution, in collaboration with the Department of Culture. A lot of workshops coming, trust me. It's all about bettering us, trying to make it better.
And please, to those artists out there, the ones known and unknown, please don't hear about the workshop and say, "Me ain't going that there. That ain't for me." Because you will be the one who will be left behind.
It's either you get on board or get left behind, everybody, because we can't sit down on this thing, this gold mine as far as I'm concerned, millions and millions of dollars me buy. I just read a report a couple of weeks ago talking about the money that's in St. Kitts in terms of intellectual property. Millions and millions of dollars me buy. It's like, well, I need to get some of this. You understand? So that's really what we're doing. Artists, any opportunity that you get to better yourself, to learn something, take it. Learn something every day. There's always more to learn. I'm still learning. ITYC is still learning. If you don't better yourself, person's gonna come and take advantage of you. We don't want that. So trust me, any opportunity to learn, take it.
What's next for Mr. Azem Bailey personally? And what's next for the Back Analyst?
Well, right now we're getting ready for the carnival season. We've already played for some events, like I said, these are some of the Soca tents. We also have a couple of fetes coming up. Big up the Cooler Fet Massive. Make sure y'all come out and support that. There's talk of a breakfast fet. We've been contacted to do that as well. And we're right now in negotiations with some other promoters and also even with the Carnival Committee about other events. So we're preparing for that. We have been brought on board with Nature B. He's now looking to go to Guadeloupe in February for his for the carnival down there. And so, like I said, we're here to back all the artists. We're here to support in any way possible. And so he's called us on board to be a part of that project. Me and Gavin, again, Back Analyst crew, right now we're in talks to go up to Leeds actually in August to take care of their Soca Monarch. They'll help produce the artists and also help with the band and the whole production of the show. So that's something big. We're also trying right now to get some support to help to bring some of the artists on the trip with us, hint, hint. So the artists could get that level of exposure, because I don't know if you've ever been to Leeds for Leeds Carnival, but Leeds Carnival is like a mini St. Kitts, everybody's kitchen up there. And so we're really trying to bring some of the artists there with us so that they could get that level of exposure on your platform and again help to develop the skill. Right after that, hopefully Music Fest. We already spoken to some of the persons on that. And then again, hoping to do a second year with the Cultural Soca Monarch. So things coming up all the time about. We're talking to promoters all over, trying to push some of these artists. Again, the artists move, the musicians move. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help and build the artists so that the whole industry could move. Engineers, managers, publicists. It all depends on the artist. The artist is the linchpin, and we think the talent there, so it's just about us helping to develop it and put it in the spotlight so that we all could shine.
Nice. If there's any businessmen or businesses out there who might watch this interview and work out, I like what the young man is saying, and I want to get behind him and his movement and the Back Analyst crew. What can they do?
Well, you could go to Facebook. Revolution Media is the page. Also, you could contact me and give up my number, 765-5117. 765-5117. Contact me. We always down to partner. We always down to give back. I mean, Back Analyst School last year, whenever we do shows or whatever, we try to give back. We have now partnered with the Newtown Primary School that really showed us a lot of support coming up, giving them a sound system a couple months ago. And after this carnival season, we're also looking to make some donations to some of the kids around with musical instruments and stuff like that. And we also, Revolution, my company, we're also looking at doing a book drive and an art drive for the JNF Hospital. We've already gotten the okay from the minister on that. And so look out for that. When you see your book receptacles, any books that you might have, feel free to drop them in, because they're all going to a worthy cause. So feel free to add me on Facebook. Just search for Azem Royal Bailey, Azem. Again, Revolution Media on Facebook. On Instagram is Revolution, SKN. Just add up, link up, and let's work. All of us got to work together for this thing to reach the place that we want it to reach.
I want the interview close off here, but there's so much things we're going to talk about. Right? It's so much things. What's your view on DJs here who play in parties, as well as radio DJs who play on the radio, and the music they play versus not playing our SKN artists' music? I know some artists complain, they don't play our music on radio, they don't play enough. What's your whole view on that, and what you think can be done?
Well, I guess it's something that might be a little controversial, but I know I'm the only one who holds this mentality, and it's been proven. But the DJ is mashing up the industry. The DJ is mashing up the whole industry, my boy. I tell you why. In every industry, every job has its role. You understand? As far as I see, in the music industry, the DJ role is the person who brings music to the people. Right? If the DJs don't do their work, if the DJs don't search through SoundCloud for that gem, what can happen to the artists? We have a lot of artists here who as far as they concerned, create music comparable to if it's dancehall to Jamaica, if it's soca to Barbados and Antigua. You understand? And if the DJs only concentrate on getting a forward as opposed to doing their job, which is bring quality music. If you're a good DJ, you know how to bring a good song to the crowd for them to accept it. And that's the magic in a DJ. You understand? A lot of the DJs just playing for forward right now and not doing their job of bringing music, bossing artists to the people. In terms of the amount of local music played on the station, radio stations, I would like to say a lot more personally. There's so much music being created. Artists, of course, the onus is on you. One, to create a quality product that people want to play. Two, to also enlighten the DJs about the music that you have. Right? Again, remember we have to make this thing a business. And so you can't expect DJs to play a song they don't have. I mean, so much artists release their songs on YouTube and Dropbox. And all the DJ them on the radio can get an email. You understand? So you got to do that part. But at the same time, the DJs have to understand that if you in St. and you promote St. Kitts artists with good music, it can only work better for all of us. Some of them artists gonna travel and then pull you with them. You understand? Some of them artists gonna make it big and bring a spotlight to the country. You as a good DJ in the spotlight. You understand? And so it's in everyone's best interest to promote the local music. Right? I feel again the policy makers need to regulate this. One, the artists right now, there's radio stations that play primarily music and not paying any royalties to the artists. That can't be right by. They're collecting ad money every week. But the artists ain't getting played, and that's what people are listening to the radio station for in the first place. Something definitely wrong with that. So the policy makers, I can make a suggestion right here and live on the merch shop, and I hope that somebody out there listening and could take it to who need to hear. When the radio stations come for the broadcast license, they need to show that they signed up for a CMO so that the artist could get the royalties. Playlists must be presented. I don't think you should be giving out no license to no radio station to rob people. That's basically how I see it. Straight up. And so the policymakers have the power to do that. In Singapore and a bunch of other countries, you must play X amount of local music on your radio station, or they come and shut you down. They must. In Korea, I think it's 80%. You must play 80% music from Korea. You understand? So there's nothing wrong with putting that quota, especially one, recognizing that we have the talent. Two, recognizing that the artist's been suffering for years. Three, recognizing that the industry needs help. You understand? So don't be afraid to put these things in place because it only benefit all of us. So I'm really hoping that we could see some of these things being implemented over time. And I really feel that I know Miss Jenkins down at the copyright office really working hard, so I can't jam her too hard. I know they're working on the bills and things. An artist, make sure you go down and check it out. There's a copyright office down at the Pelican Mall. Make sure you go down and talk to Mrs. Jenkins because they're really willing to help. I've seen them help a lot of artists before, so make sure you go down there, educate yourself, get some material. But yeah, I know she's working hard to really push some of these things in place. So really hoping in quick time, not 5 years and not 10 years, we're talking next year, 2016, we want to see these things happening.
As Alkaline said, 2016. Big year.
2016 is the year for SK and artists, I'm telling you. Trust me. You see how the quality step up this year for Sugar Mass? Crazy. And big up to the artists them. I mean, some music here. Even before that year, because there's some music that came out for the for Culturama that I am telling you could make it big around the world. Sugar Mass come down now. Mass again. People calling me from St. Croix, St. Thomas. People calling me from Miami talking about the quality of the music. And the fact that the music is being played on these stations out there where they could hear it is a testament to the artists really stepping up and coming with top class music this year. And I'm really proud to say that I might have been a small part of that. You know what I mean? Because like I said, when the artists eat, everybody eat.
you being a band member, I know you have to deal with many promoters here in St. Kitts and Nevis. We always hear the complaint about different promoters. In your view, what would you like to see promoters do to help the industry?
Well, promoters, again, everybody in the industry have their role to play. I really feel it for the local promoters, because for them to put on shows is a big expense. They have the same expenses as people in Jamaica and Trinidad in the US, but then they have a smaller market to then try and recuperate the cost from. You're not gonna see no show in St. Kitts going 10,000 people. That's a small outdoor show in other countries, right? So I feel it for them. But that being said, give the local artists a chance. You ain't gonna buy a plane ticket for them, you ain't gonna put them up in a hotel. You understand where I'm coming from? And like we just said, the quality of the music is getting there. Back Analyst good here to back the artists, them, the performance is stepping up. I'm gonna be totally honest. Every single show I've been to where they've been local artists backed by a band since Music Fest this year, the local artists have outshined the overseas artists. Hands down. I ain't even got to say that there with no timidness. The local artists outshine the overseas artists every single time. So I'm really hoping the promoters see that the artists, right, can now bring people in the gates, just like them overseas artists, right? And then they say it's a place for the artists to develop. So even just to help and develop the craft of these artists, to eventually make your show. Nobody want to put on one show. If you're a promoter, if you're a promoter, you're promoting shows. And so when you give artists a chance to perfect their craft, over time, your quality is also going to rise. You understand? So they give the artists a chance. And also, pay the artists what they worth, please. You ain't gonna bring them on a plane. You ain't gonna put them up on a hotel. So you're still trying to shaft the man then. When a man give his price, you work out if you can pay it or you can't pay it. If you can't pay it, please go look a sponsor. You understand? That's the way the industry works. Same is all over. Don't try to treat us differently because we're from here. Because you see me down the road. This is my livelihood. Treat me with the same level of respect that I deserve in my craft. Understand? So pay the people what they worth. Treat them the same way. I hate to see when I go to a shop and you got 3 big tent there with food platter and bottle of water, and the local artists them go buy the bag or buy a bottle of water and them kind of things there. Understand? Like, come on, do your part. Like, your part is, if you want to see the industry rise, then you got to also help to bolster some of them artists that ain't quite get it yet, that they deserve in these things. Understand? Like I say, I feel for the promoters, because it's hard to be a promoter in St. Kitts. Don't get me wrong, it's real hard to do promotion. But at the same time, if you want to jump in the game, know the players and know the rules, and operate accordingly.
Well, to add to those words, at the Love and Dancehall show, in my view, the local artists outshine the Jamaican acts who had their big hits that we all know. They outshine the Jamaican acts big time. That with just performance and coding interaction, everything, they outshine, and I have to give credit to the band as well, because the band played, well, the 3 elements to me, who was an onlooker there. The band, the artist was comfortable, and the lighting guy. The lighting guy played a pivotal role, because to me when some of the artists, when they say dim and they cause certain things, the lighting and the special effect man and the smoke man, they contributed, so like you put the artist in an element. You know, so
definitely. I mean, that show there was, for me, confirmation of what I've been saying all the time. We got the talent here. And anybody looking on that night, it was obvious. I mean, we had royalties back in some of the Jamaican artists, so it wasn't even a matter that, oh, well, they saying local artists had a band and this one they hadn't a band or whatever. No, the artists really went out there. We spent time in the band house, right? We work on their craft. They tell us things they would like to see happen. You know, we have experience and we share the experience with them. And the most important thing is they listen. Like, simple as they say, they listen. And the artists went out there and executed what we practiced. And that was then the product. And I know for a fact that everybody look on and was like, wow, they see the potential. Not only just seeing the potential, but they see it being manifest in front of them now. I mean, the same thing happened at the floor launch. I mean, the artists went there, perform to a level that's comparable with anybody in the region as far as I'm concerned. And it's only a matter of time before we see some of these artists really becoming regional names and then international names. You can't stop it because the talent there and those with the mindset will move far. Because attitude, again, determines altitude, like they teach us in school. So the artists them really, like I said, been stepping up. 2015 been a crazy year for that. And it only could get even better in 2016. We got Nietzsche be traveling to Guadeloupe, right? We got producers traveling to England. So it's like, it's time. It's long overdue. As far as I'm concerned, long overdue.
Policymakers out there, kindly come on board. Before we depart, any last words?
Well, my goal, I guess, is hopefully to see the artists in St. Kitts develop into household names, not only locally but internationally. To see industry fostering development for not only the artists but then also engineers like myself, musicians, road managers, publicists, is a whole industry, DJs. And so we must believe it for ourselves because nobody gonna do it for us. The onus is on us to see the opportunity and to prepare ourselves to grasp it and take advantage of it. Don't skylark with your money. Don't skylark with your career. This is business and operate as such. Operate as such. Set yourself up to make money from your intellectual property, to make money from your craft, and to make money from your talent. If you ain't doing that, nobody gonna respect you. You could got the biggest song. If you ain't operating on that level, then you're just a fellow with a good song. You understand? It's time that we create careers, we create an industry. ITYC, I want to know that if by some magic I get a child, right? That my child, if interested in music, ain't gonna watch me and say, but not me. He say, oh, daddy's struggling. I can't do no music. Because that's really our generation now. Yeah. Our generation look at the musicians from before and say, watch how they're struggling here. Yeah. And that's why we watch it like, but ain't nothing in music. Music is a hobby. And I don't want that to be the next generation. So I gotta do my part, but I can't do it myself. And I see that there are already some artists that are making a conscious decision, taking the music and the craft seriously and putting themselves in a position now to grasp at what's possible. I want people, just like how Destra and Showing Winchester and Cohen Dubois and all of them come here and play on with shows and go back to Trinidad with EC, EC money. We could go down there and come back with some of the TT money. You understand? It's possible. It's happening all over the world. I've seen it. I've been around. And there's no difference between us and them except mentality and willingness to do the work. And so, please, take this thing seriously. This is legacy. This is country. This is all of us. We are really, really push now because now is the time. Spotlight on St. Kitts. Maybe you don't know, but I'm telling you the spotlight is on St. Kitts right now. And it's time for us to take advantage of the light.
Nice. I want to thank Mr. Bailey for coming on the set of Live from the Merch Shop. He's a regular here at the Merch Shop. And we usually hear reason and different things. So I say thank you for coming, Joe.
Pleasure.
Thank you for sharing the knowledge that you have and the experience with the folks out there, as well as artists who I know will be watching this interview, and we're looking forward to all of the things you said, including the seminars. Feel free to always come to share with us, inform the public on what's going on,
Look out for it. Lots of big things coming from Back Analyst School, Revolution. Check out the agency website is theagency.axa.com. So a lot of big things going on. Look out for them. Bless.
This is your boy I2IC signing out. One love. Peace.